Hey guys, it's Alicia. Today's video is a what's for dinner on WW or Weight Watchers. My husband and I are on the green plan, but I'm going to be including the points for not only the green, but the blue and purple plans as well. This video is also a collaboration video with my friend Bex over at Life with Kids and Cats. She's going to be showing you what they had for dinner too. And if you are not familiar with Bex, please go check out her channel. I just love her. She is so fun. She does a little bit of everything from hauls to cooking, cleaning, just a lot of different stuff. But I just really love her personality. Like I said, she's a lot of fun. She's got a great sense of humor, and I always find myself laughing when I watch her videos. So definitely go check her out if you are not familiar with her. But let me jump in here and I will show you what we had for dinner this week. Tonight for dinner, I'm gonna be doing a really easy crock pot bean soup. I love this because you literally just dump everything in the crock pot and just let it go. So it doesn't get any easier than this, but this soup has a ton of flavor, so it's one that I love to make. So I will show you what goes in this. Here I've got some chopped baby carrots, a little bit of celery, and then a sweet onion and a red onion chopped. And these, both the sweet and the red, were small. Typically I would only use one large, but since they were so small, I just used one of each. And now I'm gonna add in 4 cups of chicken broth and 2 cups of water. Now you can use all chicken broth if you want, or you can use all water if you want. It all kind of just depends on what you want to do. If you do use all water though, you're gonna want to add salt, or probably more salt than what I'm gonna end up using. I make this soup a lot of times with ham in it, and so I get a lot of sodium from the ham. So I might need to add a little bit of salt to this, but I will do that at the end. I'm not gonna salt it now. Okay, so now I'm gonna add in a little bit of garlic, and then 16 ounces of beans. You can use, and I've rinsed these, you can use whatever type of bean you want. I'm going to be using Great Northern today. Here I'm going to add in a little bit of smoked paprika, some rosemary, and some thyme. A little black pepper. And like I said, I'm probably gonna check this to see if I need to add any more salt to it once it's cooked. I don't want to do it now because I don't want to over salt it. I'm gonna give this a quick stir. And then on top, I'm gonna add a couple of bay leaves. I have 3 of them. And that is all that's going in this. Like I said, it's very simple. You just put everything in there. And as I said before, a lot of times I make this with ham. In fact, I think the recipe that I'm linking down below, where I show making this before, I used ham in it. And that is really good, but I don't have any ham on hand, so we're just gonna go without it this time. But now I'm gonna put this on high, and I'm gonna just let this cook for about 4 or 5 hours until those beans start to soften up. And at that point, I will be back. All right, this has been cooking for about 4.5 hours, just a little bit over. And it looks done, so I'm going to pull the bay leaves out of here. And now I'm gonna take a potato masher and I'm gonna just mash a little bit of these beans up in here, just to give it a little thicker consistency. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I like to. Like that. And now I'm gonna test it and see if it needs any more salt, because this would be the point where you'd want to add any extra salt or pepper. And again, that's gonna be to your own personal taste. I'm gonna add just a little bit of salt to mine, not even a half teaspoon. But I do think it needs just a little bit, because like I said, I usually will make this with ham in it, which definitely adds salt. So, yeah, just a little bit. Mix that in. And then that is ready to go. And here is a serving of that, which is about 2 cups. This makes about 5 2-cup servings. And on the green plan, that is 7 points. On the blue and purple, it is 0. So this is definitely a good one if you are on blue or purple, because it is 0 points on those two. With this, we're going to be having some of these Cheddar Bay biscuits. Probably just one. They are 5 points a piece. So with one of those and 2 cups of this soup, that would make this a 12-point dinner tonight on the green. And just 5 on the blue and purple. And I did do a video on these biscuits. I will link that up above and down below if you want to check that out. Okay, so tonight for dinner, we're going to be having one of our favorites, and that is the 2-ingredient pizza dough pizza. So I'm just making up my 2-ingredient pizza dough here. And that's just simply fat-free Greek yogurt and self-rising flour. This time for pizza, we're gonna do it a little bit different thanks to a viewer suggestion to do a barbecue chicken pizza. So thank you, Tamara, for that suggestion. It sounds delicious, and I really love getting suggestions from you guys because sometimes I get in a rut when it comes to making things like pizza, and I just do them kind of the same way every time. So we're gonna try a barbecue chicken pizza with this 2-ingredient pizza dough tonight, and I think it's gonna be really good. So first off, you're gonna take your 2-ingredient pizza dough, and I will have the pizza video where I show making this if you want to see that. But like I said, it's just the 2 ingredients. You mix them together, you knead it, and there's your dough. So we're gonna start with our dough here, and I'm gonna just divide this in half, or as close to in half as I can get. It's pretty close. So now I'm gonna take one of these halves, and I'm gonna roll it out to fit my pizza pan. And I should say, I've made some changes to this dough now and how I do this pizza. The first one is that I use less Greek yogurt. It's supposed to be equal parts Greek yogurt to the flour, but I found if you do that, you need to use way too much flour during the kneading and rolling out process. So to cut back on the amount of flour and therefore points, I use about 3/4 cup of the Greek yogurt now instead of the cup, and then a cup of the flour. And like I said, I use a whole lot less to knead, a whole lot less flour to knead out the dough and roll out the dough that way. So I'm gonna continue rolling this out, and then I will show you what's next. All right, I've got that dough rolled out, and I'm gonna take one of my pizza pans here, and I've just spritzed it with a little bit of olive oil. And I'm gonna put my dough on there. And I'm gonna just kind of work this on this pan and get it kind of where I want it. And that's the nice thing about this dough. It's really easy to work and manipulate to kind of fit your pan. So I'm gonna finish this, and then I'm gonna do the other one, and then I will be back. I've got these both rolled out and on the pans. Now I'm gonna take a little bit of olive oil, and I'm gonna just spritz the tops of these. And the reason for this is just to kind of create a little bit of a seal on this dough, because I'm now gonna take these and I'm gonna bake them in the oven at 425 for about 5 minutes to get this dough kind of getting a head start. And again, that olive oil is gonna act as kind of a seal so that this dough doesn't get super soggy when I put the ingredients on it. So now that I've got these spritzed, I'm gonna stick them in my preheated oven and, like I said, bake them for about 5 minutes. Okay, I let those bake a little bit, And now I'm going to add some of this Ray's no sugar added barbecue sauce. Now this is not the brand that was recommended to me. That was Hughes, G. Hughes. Anyway, I couldn't find the one that was recommended, but this was the same amount of points and it's no sugar added. So, and I love Sweet Baby Ray's, so we're gonna go ahead and just use this one. But I'm gonna do a 1/4 cup of this on each pizza. And I'm gonna just spread that on here evenly. And if you want to prevent the little bubbles that you're seeing on your crust here, you can poke little holes in it before you cook. I sometimes do that, and I sometimes don't, like this time. And now I'm going to take about 10 ounces of grilled chicken. You can use regular chicken breast, or you can use something like this Tyson, here it is, Tyson chicken breast strips. But again, 10 ounces, so I'm going to evenly spread this between the two pizzas, or as even as I can. Now that I've got my chicken on there, I'm gonna add 8 ounces of part skim mozzarella, and I'm gonna just split this between the two pizzas. And I should say that the Tyson grilled chicken breast that I'm using, I did go ahead and heat that up in a frying pan real quick. I didn't want to just throw the frozen pieces on there. Okay, now I'm gonna add some red onion and a orange bell pepper. I wanted to add mushrooms to this too, but I don't have any, so. Also spinach was another thing that Tamara said she puts on hers occasionally, and I don't have that either, but I'm gonna put on here what I've got. And then on one of these, I'm gonna put a little bit of jalapeno, because my hubby likes that. And then finally, I'm gonna top the two of these with a 1/2 cup low-fat feta cheese. I'm just gonna divide this between the two. Okay, now these are ready to go in the oven at 425, and I'm gonna just kind of watch them, but I'm guessing it's gonna be anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. I let these cook just about 15 minutes, maybe a tiny bit more. And they are done, so I'm gonna let them cool a little bit, and then I will cut them up. Here is a serving of that, which is 1/4 of a pizza. And this, when I ran the points on it, is coming in at 6 points on all 3 colors, which does not seem bad at all. It smells amazing. I will have my hubby try it and let you know what he thinks of it.
What kind of cheese is that?
That's feta.
Oh, I'm excited.
It's got feta and mozzarella.
And jalapenos.
Yeah, I ran out of jalapenos, so that's why there's only that many on there. Is it hot?
No.
So it's really good. I'm surprised there's not more of a barbecue flavor.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean,
Well, maybe I need to use more sauce next time. I used a 1/4 cup per pizza, and I guess maybe I could have used a little more, but that sauce is 0 points for 2 tablespoons, but then obviously with a lot of things, or like a lot of things, it starts adding points once you get to a certain point.
I mean, it's there. It's just real subtle, which is fine. I just expected it to be more of a stronger flavor. Mm-hmm. But that's really good with the 2 different types of cheeses. It's got a real savory quality. Mm-hmm. And of course, I like the heat of the jalapenos. And the barbecue sauce adds that touch of sweetness on the back end. And then the chicken tastes really good. Now the chicken's real salty because it's the prepackaged tin ones, right?
Yeah, you could just use regular chicken breast if you didn't want the salty aspect.
But you know, overall, we never really salt the food, so the saltiness isn't an issue. Yeah, so I really like that. I noticed that the crust is dry.
Now, that's because I'm doing it with the olive oil on it and baking it before, and that makes a big difference, don't you think? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not soggy like it was before.
And I never minded that.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really nice crust.
And I don't always do this, to be completely honest. Sometimes I'm lazy and skip this step. But I think the step of spritzing it with olive oil and baking it for 5 minutes before you add the toppings. And I think Tamara's the one that told me that too. I've been doing that for a little bit now though. But anyway, that does make a really big difference, I think. But like he said, we kind of like it either way.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't mind it the other way.
So is this one you'd want me to do again then?
Yeah.
Barbecue?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I will call that a success then. It smells really good. I'm gonna have some myself. But thank you to Tamara for the idea. We will definitely be doing this one again. And like I said, 6 points. Now I might use a little more barbecue sauce next time. What do you think?
Now that I've had that, a couple of bites of it, I don't think so.
Okay, so maybe not. I was gonna say if I add more, that would probably increase, well, possibly increase the points. But as it stands, if you make it just like this, it is 6 points. Tonight we are having 1 skillet chili mac. This stuff is really good. I've been making it for years and years, and it's part of my rotation, but typically I make it more in the fall and winter. So that's what we're having tonight. And that just starts off with a pound of either lean ground beef or lean ground turkey. I'm using turkey because that's mostly what I use anymore. And to that, I'm gonna add a couple medium sweet onions. And then I'm gonna add a little fresh ground black pepper. And I'm gonna just cook this in here until that turkey is done and those onions are softened. And now I'm gonna add in a little bit of minced garlic and cook that in there for about a minute or so. Now I'm gonna pour in 2.5 cups of tomato juice and a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. Typically I use stewed, but this is all I have on hand. Diced would work well too. A can of green chilies and some chili powder and ground cumin. I'm gonna stir all this together, and I'm gonna turn my heat up to high because I wanna get this boiling, and then I will be back. All right, I've got this simmering or kind of up to a boil. So now I'm gonna take 2 cans of pinto beans, 15.5 ounce each. Add those in there and add in a 1.5 cups of wheat noodles. Now I usually use macaroni noodles, but I cannot find them anywhere. So I'm gonna be just using penne today. So now I'm gonna just stir this all together, and then I'm going to lower the heat back down and just let this kind of simmer for about 15-20 minutes or so until that pasta has cooked, and then this will be ready to go. I let this cook a little over 20 minutes. This penne takes a little bit longer to cook than the macaroni noodles do. So it is looking done. So now I will dish them up and show you how we eat it. And here is dinner tonight. That is about a serving of the chili mac. It's just over a cup. And that is 7 points on green, 5 on blue, and just 3 on purple. And that includes the tablespoon of cheese here that I've topped on it. And then that there is just a little bit of fat-free Greek yogurt, not enough to carry any points. So 7 points total for the chili mac. We're also having some steamed broccoli with it, and I've just spritzed a little bit of the I can't believe it's not butter spray on that. And so no points for the spray, no points for the broccoli. So dinner tonight is just 7 points, which is pretty good because this chili mac, I love this stuff. I don't make it near enough, actually. It is so good, and it's really filling, and it's actually really easy to make too. So I should make it more often than I do because I always just really enjoy it when I do make it. But yep, that is dinner tonight. And that is what we had for dinner on WW this week. I will have Bex's channel linked down below. Please go check her out to see what she had. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.